Welcome back. So today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about allowing our users to save changes to the database and to the storage. Now we're going to talk about what we did in the last video. The last video we have an edit profile UI. With this edit profile UI, the user can select a photo from their library, and then what we want to do is allow that user to save that information into the database. Now, here we have a kind of quick drawing to show you guys exactly what we're trying to do. So the user selects a photo, and then they're going to hit save. And then that image is going to go, we want the image stored into our Fire Storage. Now, the Fire Storage is going to give us a URL. And with this URL, we have now access to the image and the storage. Now, this is important because what we want to be able to do is take this URL and update our default photo, or our profile photo rather. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Fire database. And here, if you remember, we have our profile, our username, and we're going to use the storage URL in order to update our profile. So we also have elements like the username that the user can update. We also have the bio and the photo. So we can update all of these different elements within our database, and we're going to just upload the new URL that Firebase gives us into our user's profile. Like I said, again, we're going to be able to upload things like the username as well because we have those fields. So let's talk about what we need to do in order to get this accomplished, some of the prerequisites that we need to have set up ahead of time. Okay, so there's some things that you want to make sure that you have set up before you actually get into the code portion of this video. So my assumption is you already set up a new project in Firebase. You do this by first signing up for Firebase, going into your console, and selecting to create a new project. And if you've gotten to the point where you can authenticate users, then you've done this. The next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to add our Firebase storage pod to our pod file in our project. The way you're going to do this is, okay, so the way you want to do this is you want to go to the directory that your Xcode project is in to find your pod file. So I'm just going to on my desktop, on my computer rather, I have a folder called development, and in that folder is where I store all of my Xcode projects. So I'm just going to open the folder for the project. What Xcode does is, based on what you call your application, it creates a folder of that name. So we're calling our application Whip Menogram. All right, so now we're in our folder, and as you remember, ls-l is going to list all of our files, and here we have our pod file that we're going to want to update. So you can just VI into your pod file, or use any other editor that you would like. And as you see, I've already added this storage pod. So you want to add this whole line. So Firebase/storage to this. And then what you're going to do is, after you do that, you're going to save your changes and you're going to pod install. This will configure your file, and you should see, I've already done it, so it won't help here, but it's going to add this functionality to your project. So once again, you're going to just add this line, this whole line, to your project. Once we get into some of the code stuff, we'll talk about importing Firebase and then the actual techniques to use in order, or the methods, the Firebase methods to use to store images in the database. So make sure that you are at least at this point before you watch the next video, because the video will be pure code. We're going to talk about it a little bit, but it will be mostly actually implementing the methods to store and save things into our database. If you have any questions at this point, please comment below. I will try to answer them in the next video to clarify things. So once again, this is our game plan, and Our next video will be our actual code. So see you next video.